everybody. Welcome to Monday Night Live here on Homes Around the Village's YouTube channel. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Kind of getting our analytics going on here. Got Christian behind the scenes. And so we want to get the party started, right? So I want to welcome you all. Thank you very much for attending our bi-monthly, right?
Yep.
Bi-weekly?
Well, I don't know if bi-weekly is every 2 weeks or every, 2 times a week.
True.
Yeah.
So bi-monthly. There we go. All right, Jerry Bell, he is on a roll already. There's no slowing Jerry down, right? Thanks for joining, Jerry. Appreciate it. Kevin, thanks for joining us. Just rolled in from the villages here in my home studio. Hopefully you won't hear in the background the guys mowing the lawn back there. So I used to do my own lawn until this happened. Anyways, we're not even going to go down that road. So welcome everybody. Got a little story to tell. So let's see. How many viewers? Well, we have 0 viewers here, Christian.
15.
I show 0. There, 3 now.
No.
What's this?
This is it will show you in the past, so we started with 3, so
Okay.
then it will go up. But
Okay.
This is the current number.
14. All right. I've got a question for everybody. So this is middle of October 2022. I hear it's getting cold up north there, so we are expecting a cold front coming through. I think, have you heard, Christian, what the temperature is going to be like? It's supposed to get cold.
Blakely said it was supposed to already get cold, but it was not today.
Yeah, not yet. So, anyways, want to say hi to everybody. Hi, Chili Dog and Sandy K. Chili Dog. Now, Chili Dog is a new one on me. So is that just a new handle for one of our old subscribers, or is Chili Dog new to the channel? Yeah, Jerry, I'm hungry. Yeah, especially this time of the night. All right, so I got a consensus. Let's talk about that. I know Skip Smith does his Wednesday night live, and we don't want to compete with Skip, so we try to do Monday. We try to do every other week here on the channel. So what do y'all think? Do we want to keep going with every other week, or do we want to do it just ratchet it back to once a month like we used to do? And what do you all think of the 6 o'clock hour? Because I know that 6 o'clock is dinner time, and 6 o'clock kind of rolls into, by the time we're done, it's usually after 7, and that's definitely maybe interfering with dinner. So give me some suggestions. Let me know what you think about whether 2 times a month is too much, and what you think about the 6 o'clock hour. So I'll have Christian kind of follow along. So Elaine, hey, Elaine is my she's my financial planner gal. So she kind of keeps me up with what's going on in that part of the world and in that part of things. So I want to thank you, Elaine, in person for all your little text messages you send to me. I really appreciate that. So Nancy's on, Nancy Scroy. Welcome, Nancy. So Dan says 2 times is perfect. Every other week is good. 5 or 6 is good. So 5 o'clock cuts it a little short for me for the work day, because I could either I could do our Monday Night Live from the office at 5, or do it here at my house in my home studio at 6. So that's why I asked that question. Everything is already all set up here. I don't want to go ahead and get that camera, but I have my studio lights here, my microphone over. Can you see my microphone? A little bit. Microphone. So everything's all plugged in. All I got to do is roll in, and boom, here we go. So Chili Dog says, Kevin says 5 is too early. Good. Okay. Well, I think the consensus is 6 o'clock. That's good. That's what I thought too. So I kind of like the 6 o'clock hour myself. It gives me either a little extra time to wrap up what I have at work, or gives me time to run home and get here. And then Christian will come sometimes ahead of time and comes right on in. The dogs, there you go. The dogs don't bother him. There. So that's kind of what the studio looks like. And just in time, the lawn guys got out of here, Christian. All right, so anyways, by a show of hands, how many people know that I'm a real estate agent and I sell homes? Can I see your hands? Oh, okay, that looks like most of you there. Okay, so I was On Top of the World today. I had some folks that I saw, they were on a lifestyle preview plan over at the Villages, and they're like, we don't really like the Villages. It's kind of too big, too busy for us. So I started talking about On Top of the World. And they said, we've seen your videos before, and we kind of, like what it sounds like with On Top of the World. We'd kind of like to check that out. So they made an appointment with Kristen, who is kind of like my preferred real estate agent, sales agent over there at On Top of the World. And so these folks, Larry and Darlene, met us over there today at On Top of the World, and then myself, Nina, our new agent, and then Kristen, Larry, and Darlene all kind of took the tour and went through On Top of the World, which was great, really. And I always love to get there, and I always stay for the whole thing, because a lot of times things will change. Homes, the neighborhoods build out so fast, although things are kind of slowing down a little bit. But I always learn something every time I'm there. So that's why I like to just go there and sit and spend the whole time with Kristen and with anybody who wants to, tour On Top of the World. Well, so this time, Kristen had everybody in her car except me. So I was following them around. I had Nina ride with Kristen so she could hear what Kristen has to say and hopefully pick up on everything that Kristen has to say. And so we get done with our tour. I park in the parking lot, and I'm walking up to the sales office. Everybody else is kind of ahead of me. And I see some folks over here, and I don't know. Something told me that, I don't know, it's crazy, but something told me in my head, these people are going to know me. Because I see a lot of people On Top of the World's sales office. Every time I walk in, a lot of people will recognize me, and so these just so happen I'm looking at them, and the lady looks at me and she goes, hey, you're Ira Miller. I'm like, yeah. And she goes, I watch all your videos, and we're down here staying in the villages, and we're over at Orange Blossom Gardens. We're staying for a couple of weeks, my husband and I, and we watch all your videos. I'm like, that's great. I appreciate that. Thanks for watching. And so she goes, yeah, we walk in. We've walked into the sales office here, and they said, you know, welcome. What brings you here? And we told them we heard about On Top of the World from Ira Miller and watching his videos. And they go, oh, well, is Ira your realtor? And they said, no, we've never met the guy. So they go, oh, okay. And so what is going to happen? So what's going to happen is these people might come back, they might fall in love with On Top of the World. I'm not going to be able to work with them because they didn't call me ahead of time. They didn't let me know that they were going to come and look at On Top of the World. And so I've said it plenty of times, and so I just want to kind of reiterate, if y'all want me to work with you on new homes, and they're starting to build a lot of spec homes now, move-in ready, they call them. They're called by different names. All these new homes that the builder goes ahead and builds ahead of time and then sells brand new homes. If you want me to help you with, and now they have these move-in ready homes in different phases of construction. Some of them are even at the slab stage, meaning all there is a slab. So, you know, the people I was working with, they're like, Ira, if we go ahead with one of these new homes, would you be there for us? Would you kind of oversee what's going on, oversee our home, and, you know, in the different phases of construction? And I said, absolutely, that's what I'm here for. That's what I do. If you want me to, some people ask me to, some people don't. But if you ask me, I'll be more than happy to go, and I'd be more than happy to take a video and video your home being built in different stages. So that's the value that I bring when you are purchasing a brand new home at On Top of the World. And I can't help you if you call ahead of time or you walk in and you don't say you're working with me. If you say you saw On Top of the World from one of my videos, you know, the people there are just gonna assume that you may have already heard about them somewhere else as well. And so that's what kind of piqued your interest and brought you in, if you don't say you're working with me. So if nothing else, if you just walk in or call in, you know, if you say, look, I found out about On Top of the World from Ira Miller, Homes Around the Villages YouTube channel, that's why we're calling. And if they ask you if you're working with me, if you want me to help you, you'll have to tell them you're working with me. So, and that's all you have to do. It's better if you let us know ahead of time, because we'll fill out all the paperwork ahead of time, Blakely will, and send it in so there's no doubt. But in the very least, you know, if these folks had said, oh yeah, you know, we're going to have him as our realtor when we're ready to buy, if they at least said something like that, we might have had a fighting chance. But at this point, so I just wanted to bring that up simply because we face that. I face that a lot, and you know, I'm not going to fight with the developer about who's my client and who isn't, because I don't want to ruin that relationship with that developer, because he can say, you know, you're out of here. And especially in that really super hot market, you know, that's kind of, but now that the market's kind of going down. Anyways, that is my little story for you today. I wanted to kind of give everybody a little bit of a chance to kind of hear that, as well as go ahead and write in any questions. So, my buddy Skip Smith, hi Dad. This guy kills me. Hi Dad, hello to everyone here. So, as I do, and I'm sure all of you do, we all love Skip Smith. And Skip asked me, I don't know if I should ruin it. Nah, better not ruin it. Right, Skip? We won't ruin it. We won't ruin the surprise. But Skip, appreciate you joining. I try to jump on Skip's channel every on his Wednesday night lives. He has all the little games and antics going on. So, oh, Kevin, he will not be here in 2 weeks. Let's see, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks.
31st?
That's the 31st, Halloween. I won't be here in 3 weeks. So, I will be out of town. I don't know if does our live fall on, if it's 3 weeks, then we don't have to worry about it, right? Okay, we fall on even weeks, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, so not next week. So yeah, in 2 weeks would be the 31st. That would be it's Halloween. I don't think we're going to be here on Halloween. Right? Didn't we talk about that? You and I?
Going to ask them.
So, Christian and I were talking about Halloween. I know everybody's going to get ready. A lot of people have grandkids. Excuse me. And we have a lot of kids in my neighborhood, so it's probably not going to be best if we have this on Halloween.
So then it would be a month from now that we would do our next one.
And then I'm not here the following week, right? So let me kind of look at my calendar here, just so we're straight. All right, so 2 weeks is the 31st, and then so that would be the 14th, because I'm not going to be here on the 7th because it's my birthday on that week. So we either do it on a Tuesday, the following Tuesday on the 1st, or we just wait 2 weeks. Christian and I will talk about that, and then we'll get back with you on that. We'll kind of let everybody know. Right? We can do that?
We'll do a YouTube post and then a Facebook post as well.
We'll do a YouTube post and a Facebook post. Let y'all know what's going on. Okay? Cool. 39 degrees in Indiana, so I'm playing catch up here. So that is a little chilly. That's getting close to freezing. And that is going to bring all y'all down here to Florida to get the heck out of the cold up there. But Elaine says it's only 65 in New Jersey and a storm coming. And I know it's supposed to get pretty cold here. So I tell you what, I'm going to let you all know what my forecast says. Let's see here. Ocala, the villages. So, so tomorrow it's supposed to be 75 with a low of 45. Wednesday, 68 with a low of 41. And then 73 and 46. I guess we can deal with that, right? That's not too bad. So y'all gonna have to start thinking about getting down here to Florida. Chili Dog, thank you very much for following for a few weeks. I appreciate that. So thank you very much for jumping on. We kind of love to have you. Okay, so every other week is good. 6 o'clock we talked about, and then Chili Dog even agrees. Kevin agrees. 7 might get more Midwest people. Yeah. Did you see what Jerry said?
Yeah, I agree.
Christian's got a wife. No.
Oh, I thought you meant you should dress up as Skip.
Oh, I haven't got there yet. That's funny you should say that, because I was really thinking about growing a goatee one time and having a baseball cap and say, Skip Smith here. So, so where is Top of the World located? Okay, so I live in the southeast section of Ocala. On Top of the World is in the southwest section. Takes me about a half hour to get there from where I live. And it takes me a half hour to get to my office in the villages where I live. So it's like I'm a half hour either way I go there. And then it's about 45 minutes from my office to On Top of the World or back. So, but Christian Jerry kind of agreed about the 7 o'clock hour, even though he is here at 7 usually, and because we kind of usually run over to about 7:30, so that might just, we still might be here in the 7 o'clock hour anyways, right? Right. Nancy knows where it is because she lives there, right? So the new model's going in at Ashford. Yes, I have seen those new models. Today, actually, I saw those new models. So that's pretty cool. I love seeing new models go up. Wish they'd let me video the old models, but that's how I got in trouble with the villages. The villages went and sold all their models, all their designer home models. And once they sold them, I had one of their real estate agents open them up for me after they were all sold, and I videoed all of them, and they went ballistic on me. So, and a lot of you know that story. I guess some of you don't, but it wasn't pretty. That's all I can say when all that happened. But we've since reconciled, and smoothed everything out. So we got all that straightened out. So I'm going to cut that right there. Let's see. I'm just trying to see, they made a huge mistake. Who made a huge mistake?
The people who you were telling the story about?
Oh, thanks, Nancy. Oh, thank you for backing me up on that. I appreciate that. Well, I don't think they really kind of did it intentionally, and that's the problem, and that's why I keep bringing it up. It's like you don't realize that this developer, he's like, if he feels like in any way, shape, or form they had anything to do with bringing a customer in to their office, I'm going to tell you something. Until I started talking about On Top of the World, those people, I think they sold, it was something ridiculous. They sold like 25 homes a month. The Villages sells like 250. They probably sold maybe 25 homes a month. Once I started talking about it, I know for a fact that their sales increased quite a bit. Now, they've been hammering me about what I can say, what I can't say on my YouTube channel, and so I've been very limited in what I've been saying about On Top of the World. And so I haven't brought many people out there at all. I think you had my surgery, so that was today. Well, Thursday will be 11 weeks since my neck surgery. And so barring that, that's 2.5, almost 2.5 months. But yeah, it's been kind of slow going out there on top of the world. But the folks that I told you about that I met out there today, they were really happy about what they saw out there on top of the world. So I'm glad for them. And Navarro, thank you very much for your support as well. I appreciate that. So we want to talk about Skip Smith, the legend. Skip, you can't keep me straight. As much as you try, I'm too much like you. So can't keep you straight for sure. So that's why we're kind of the renegades, I think, in the villages for sure.
2 lanes on a curved road.
And Jerry agrees. Impossible, Skip. What did you say?
2 lanes on a curved road.
2 lanes on a curved road. I like that. All right. So, oh yeah, that's a good idea, Jerry. Build a fire, get a little fire pit going for port setting. All right, Halloween day, our moving truck arrives. A week later, we will be snowbirds no more, full-time villagers and Floridians. Absolutely. Just in time to get out of that cold weather, right? So that's good. Glad to hear that, Henry. Chili Dog got your number. Oh, good. So hopefully you got both of them. The one to the office, when you may or may not get with me, but you'll get with Blakely, and you could do no wrong by getting with Blakely. Either, or I give my cell phone number out and my office number out, and so that is right to my cell phone. Now sometimes when I'm busy, I'll transfer my cell phone to Blakely, so to the office. So either Christian or Blakely, but normally you'd get with Blakely. All right. So Jerry Bell, Henry John gave you a good shout out.
You missed a section above Navarro 2004. What is the price range for new homes in On Top of the World?
Where? Did I get there yet?
No, you passed it. It was right after I Was Like a Father to me.
You will have to dress down. Oh, sorry. Thanks, Christian. See,
And Jerry Bell.
See, y'all are keeping me straight, just like Skip said, right? What is the price range for new homes and On Top of the World? Okay, so good question, good timing, because I just came from there today. So they have different series of homes. So if you're familiar with any of the series in possibly the villages, and that's why it's up here, Homes Around the Villages. That's kind of, where I cut my teeth in these AAC, active adult communities, 55 plus communities or whatever. But their entry level homes are their cottages or carriages. They call them different. So there's 2 areas in On Top of the World. There's the developer maintained area, and then there's the homeowner maintained. So the developer maintained has, that's the leasehold part of On Top of the World. And then you have the homeowner maintained, where you maintain your own property. So the cottages, I honestly can't remember which one goes where. Cottages go in either the developer maintained or the homeowner maintained, and the carriage homes go in the other one. So I forget. I wasn't paying attention, I guess. I flunked. So they were starting about $325. They have some inventory. They have some homes in inventory. So I call them inventory homes. That's what the Villages calls them, inventory homes. On Top of the World calls them move-in ready homes. And Stone Creek calls them, oh gosh, I forget. But anyways, everybody has their own term. They're actually called spec homes. So from a contractor point of view, we call all those types of homes spec homes. Those are built on spec by the developer. The developer builds them to his own specifications or specs, and that's where we get spec homes. But they don't like that terminology. They don't like the word spec. So they use these other fanciful words, I guess. Anyways, so 325 is about where you would start for a new home. I tell you what, Christian, you say we're set up here, right?
Yep, just hit number 2.
Okay, so let's go ahead and just show you real quickly, if I may. Resales. Now, those were new. I was talking about starting at 325. If I go to here, I click out of the villages, I go to Candler Hills. Now, why do I go to Candler Hills? That's because that's the more not prestigious, but more expensive homes, I will say, because there's no prestigious areas, I don't think, on top of the world. And you also have Indigo East. That's another story in itself. But these are all, well, let me go by county. Why? Because there is another on top of the world in, I think it's Sarasota. In that Tampa, Sarasota, St. Petersburg area. Now, 55 matches. You see that down here? Now, they do have attached homes, older attached homes, and so we will eliminate those older attached homes. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to do that. So here's what you get. And where do they start? Those older attached homes start at 179.9, 184, 205. You can see the year built, 1982, over here. So these are the older homes. These are the attached homes over there and on top of the world. Now, if you're getting into the more newer homes like Candler Hills, 284.9, that is a 2006, 1,578 square feet living area. If Indigo East, an 1,800 square foot home for 294. It's a 2004 home. So that's kind of what your inventory looks like for on top of the world. And we can just keep going. It goes up as high as in the 5s. No, there's 6s actually. So I would say the average are in the 300s. You know, this is average, and because it goes up to 300 pretty quickly. So these are your average homes, I would say. Here's a 2019. It's a 1,465 square feet, 339. So this is kind of like one of the cottage homes or carriage homes that we were talking about, the Tamar. So we were in that model today, actually. And you can get a Tamar for a new one. But this one has a nice home site where it's a lot of privacy. Crown molding, laminate flooring. Looks like plantation shutters. So they've done a lot of nice things to this Tamar. Fancy cabinets. And like I said, it's only a 2019. Pretty fancy. So There you go. 10 days. That's either 16 or 10. I can't really tell from my computer. What do I go back to 1, Christian?
No.
Or do I go?
Still and then key.
Okay. All right. So there we go. We're back. Anyways, I thought I'd go ahead and just give you a little peek of what On Top of the World looks like. So let's see. Do your best. Oh. Hold on a second. I'll be right back.
Everyone thinks you had to pee.
All right, what do you think of this? I look a lot like Skip Smith now, don't I? My goatee just grew out a little bit. So happy Halloween.
Looks like Confucius.
I used to scare my kids with this mask. Unbelievable. So, hot job. How was that? Did that kind of give you a little idea of what I'm going to dress up for? I'm dressing up as Skip Smith.
Skip asked, are you still wearing a mask?
Hey, like I said, I look just like you, Skip. I just grew the goatee out a little bit more. That was it. That's the only way you couldn't tell the difference.
Jerry says, do you still have, did you used to have hair that long back in the day?
I did. Back in my surfer days, when I used to hang out at the beach down in Fort Lauderdale Beach and ride around in my buddy's van, and we'd go up coast and go to Cocoa Beach and go to Sebastian and Fort Pierce and all parts unknown up to all the way up to Nags Head, North Carolina. Yeah, I had hair probably down to here. So maybe I'll show you a picture one day. Not today. I already gave you the mask. That's good for this week. All right, so is like a father to me. There you go. Now, if I had that mask on, I would look like your father, sir. Anyways, I don't want to miss anybody. Let's see. Okay. So, what is the price range for new homes and On Top of the World? I think I think I gave you a price of what the pre-owned and the new. They do actually, I think, hold on a second. They will put new homes on there. Let me see if, oops. Let's see. We're actually going to do this.
Do they say what the build time is at On Top of the World?
8 months. Yeah, they shortened it up. It was 10 months to a year, and now it's 8 months. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and take those little villas out of here. We're just going to go to single-family homes. I'm going to take a look to see if I can find some new properties in the MLS. So single family is going to help narrow that down a little bit, and then I'll go back up to results, And, all right, so let's look over here where it says year built. Let me see if we see any brand new ones on the market that they've put on the market. Here's a 2022, but that's 559,000. So you can see the newer ones. Here's a 2022 for 381. Let's see what we're looking at here. So this on top of the world, come gorgeous. Now let me just see something down here. So on top of the world real estate. So that to me kind of tells me that, and it's a 2022. Just trying to see if that was a brand new one or if somebody just had to sell it for whatever reason. But it is a brand new home for $385. Brick pavers. These lots are great, and that was another reason that those folks wanted to go over there and see on top of the world, because the lots are a lot bigger over there. Now these are 9'4" walls. It might not look like it, but they're 9'4", so that's kind of nice. I want to show you the lots. I didn't mean for this to turn out to be an On Top of the World show, but it looks like it's turning out to be like that. So this is in the brand new area, so it's not really showing us what the lot looks like. Maybe.
Sure, it says HOA 392. Is that a month? What does that include?
Yes, $392 a month for sure. What does that include? Okay, well, pretty much includes everything, Jerry. So if you've watched my HOA video, it kind of breaks it down. If you haven't watched it, I think Christian will probably put a link on here for you. But the $392 pays, there's no bonds out there, but the $390 pays for internet, trash, lawn service, so they cut your lawn, they trim your hedges, they fertilize, they mulch. I think every 6 months they put new mulch in there, pest control on the outside, roof repairs. If you happen to need a roof repair, they'll repair your roof for you. Although the roofs that they have on their new homes out there are a 50-year rated roof. They'll paint your home every 7 years outside, so you never have to worry about painting it outside. Includes recreation, includes common area maintenance, and unlike in the villages, it includes the fitness centers. So as you know, the people who live in and On Top of the World can attest, who live in the villages can attest, it's $44 a person if you want to use the fitness centers at the rec centers. So I broke all that down for you. I even went into bonds because, you know, just to compare apples and apples with the villages and On Top of the World. So the $392 is actually less than what you would pay in the villages, all things considered. So that's what it pays for. Doesn't pay for golf. They don't have the free 9-hole executive courses like the villages do. They do have an inside pool where the villages doesn't have one of those. What I kind of like are radio controlled. Obviously, you guys know I fly a drone, right? So I love radio controlled. When I was a kid growing up, I had a radio controlled car. and I fly my drone. So, I mean, I'm really into radio-controlled stuff. And they have an airport for planes, a radio-controlled airport for planes out there, for trucks, and they have a car track out there. So, it's apples and oranges out there, really. And on top of the world, on top of the world is golf cart accessible. It's much smaller than the Villages. It has a little square, but the Villages is more on a grander scale. It has a lot of things that has to accommodate the 170,000 plus people that live in the Villages. So I'm not trying to down the Villages. I'm just giving options to people who might not like the Villages. They might not like how big the Villages are getting. When I first left the Villages, I went and met with the developer, and I said, hey, when I was working for you, I had a lot of people that wanted to move closer to the ocean. Why not, you're getting close to build out, because on Highway 44 and Brownwood, that was supposed to be it. And then nobody knew that they were going to go beyond that. So I suggested, I had a 3,500 acre parcel of land closer to Ormond Beach. And I said, hey, here's a 3,500 acre piece of land. There's all kind of other vacant property around here. Why don't you build a Villages a little bit closer to the beach? I mean, in my opinion, and I still feel that way today, they should have done that. They should not have kept growing and developing this huge area in the Villages. I think they should have started a second one and a separate one, and it would have been a smarter thing had they done that. I think that would have been really a good idea for them. But they kept going. They think that was the best idea. Obviously, there's a lot of people buying homes out there, so a lot of those people feel the same way as well. So, but would those people have bought closer to the ocean? Probably. If it's the Villages by the sea, there you go. The Villages by the sea. Where I come from in Fort Lauderdale, we had, Lauderdale by the sea. But, well, anyways, that's history. They've got all this property. They're all in on the Villages. So if there's any investors out there who would like to create their own Villages, I can do it. And I tried to do it up in Mississippi. I had a developer give me a call, and some of you may know this, but I tried to develop a 55 plus community in Biloxi. Biloxi would have been perfect. It was right by the ocean. It has all the shows and gambling right there in Biloxi. This was just outside of Biloxi. I thought this would have been a great thing. We just couldn't come to terms with the landowner. He wanted me to bring in some investors, and I had all the knowledge. I put a business plan together. I put a model together. I had a map. I had everything. I had the design. I had everything going. And I expected him to come up with the money to at least get it off the ground, and he wouldn't do it. So that's where that went. But that's history too. Anyways, let's keep going with our chat. What is the price range? Okay, cheers, Skip. What's up, Chili Dog? Says Skip Smith. Yep, 2 weeks is Halloween. That's what we just said there, Kevin. Ira, what are you dressing up? So you saw that. Ira will dress up as Skip Smith, as you just saw. Skip Smith. That's what I'm going to call that guy. I've never had a name for him. I have one. I have one now. All right. Kristen is a great sales agent. Thank you, Glenn. Helped us with our lot selection and what model would fit our needs. So yes, Kristen and I are partners out there and on top of the world. We work very well together. And she's not real pushy. She doesn't care really. I mean, yeah, she'd prefer if you'd buy a brand new home from her, but you know, she's not real pushy. So if you want to buy a pre-owned, I'm here to help you. If you want to buy a new home, I'm still here to help you out on top of the world. I can't do that, as many of you know, in the villages. All right, so, Hot Job's not even down here. And still have 3 years. Ooh, 3 years. Dang, I bet that's killing you. Yeah, Skip says, take your time. They're still building. Yes, they are. All right. So the HOA comparisons around the villages area. Is that you, Christian?
Oh, yes. That is the video you're referencing.
Ramai, hey, where have you been? Oh my gosh. Ramai hasn't been with us, I don't think, the last couple of times maybe. So it's good to see you back.
But yeah, let them know it's for all the Central Florida communities that you normally talk about. It's broken down for that video.
All right, so that Christian said that video link that we put in the chat where it says Homes Around the Villages, Florida with Ira Miller, there's a link there you can click on and that'll take you to all the HOA prices and breakdowns that we did for you.
At the time of filming.
Oh.
Well, because they could go up.
Yeah. So disclaimer at the time of video. All right, Hot Job. Thank you very much for joining us. Good night and thank you. Come back again in a couple of weeks. But remember, Hot Job, if you haven't left yet, it might be Tuesday instead of Monday because Tuesday is Monday is Halloween. So thanks for hopping on. All right, so hey Kevin, Maiden this week.
Iron Maiden?
Oh yeah, those are my heavy metal guys. Iron Maiden, yeah. Wow. So, what happened? What happened with Def Leppard and Motley Crue? I wasn't able to make that concert. I had to sell my tickets, I think, because of COVID, maybe. I'm trying to think, I believe, might have been because of COVID. I couldn't make that concert. So to make it up to my daughter, who turns 23 next month, who is my little classic rock girl, bought her Stevie Nicks tickets. So that is next on the list is Stevie Nicks. She loves Stevie Nicks. So we have some really good seats for Stevie Nicks, A, B, C, D, E, 5th row. And for all my rock and roll people, if you guys have not seen a Trans-Siberian Orchestra concert, you are missing it. It's our family tradition. We have been going for over 20 years, since my daughter was 3 years old, my son, well, when he was born in 2002, and we've been seeing the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. If you don't know about Trans-Siberian Orchestra, you owe it to yourself to get tickets. The tickets are absolutely unbelievably reasonable for this show. I mean, I don't even know if you can call it a concert because it's an all-out laser concert. It's just a performance. It's amazing. Trans-Siberian Orchestra, if you haven't seen them, You have to go see them. Don't miss them this year. Tickets have been on sale, so you might not be able to get. But I've looked at the resale tickets. Even the resale tickets are very reasonable. Make sure you get up there on the floor if you can. It's awesome. So, and that's about, I mean, I've even put, every year I'll put them on I'll do some Facebook posts of the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. So you want to go ahead and see that. I don't want to live in a hurricane-prone coastal area, so hey, we just proved, with Ian, how much better we fared inland as what happens when you get hit on the coast. They were devastated. Yes, it came through just under Orlando and through Daytona, and they got some flooding, but nowhere near the devastation that it hits on the coast. So come on to the middle central part of Florida. Just another day in paradox. Latitude Margaritaville is out there in Daytona, and they have a beachfront club on Ormond Beach. They do, and it's an awesome one as well. And somebody please shoot me, because Christian, he and I have been needing to go back out. The reason I've kind of been negligent in Margaritaville is because they were 2 years out for anybody to buy a home. So it's like, okay, well, and then the market just got totally crazy, and we just couldn't even leave. We didn't even have time to leave to go do a video out there. It's starting to slow down, so I think we need to get a good day and go out and shoot a good video of Margaritaville with the beach club. So I do have those videos out there, although it's obsolete with the prices. It's obsolete with the pandemic because you see the face masks. So we do need to get out there and do a more up-to-date video, okay? But I really do like Latitude Margaritaville. They have these Key West style homes. Just check out my old videos, but we're going to get out there and we're going to make a new one.
And you have multiple ones too, correct?
And what?
Multiple locations, right? You have the one in Daytona, and then don't you have the...
Yeah, there's actually like 3 or 4 Latitude Margaritavilles around. Grandma, he's got to work another few years. Hey, me too, or like Blake Shelton does with that. I do too. TSO come to Ohio for Christmas every year, sells out quick. Yes, but I looked last night, here anyways, there are some resale tickets out there. I think tickets were $109 for the floor seats, and I think they're $200 and something. Look, you compare some of these concerts today, they're crazy. Like I looked at my Stevie Nicks tickets, what people were selling those for, $1,300 a seat, $1,500 a seat. That's not what I paid because I got them right away. But still, the concert and what you get with TSO, Trans-Siberian Orchestra, is amazing. Best deal going. Ira, you had COVID when the concert. Yeah, okay, thanks, Kevin. Thanks for reminding me. I couldn't remember. I thought it was. That's the only reason. That's the only thing that would have kept me away from that concert. So thank you. I will see you in a month going on a cruise. Symphony of the Seas. There's a new cruise ship out there called MSC, I think. MSC. That looked very reasonable, and it looked like it was very accommodating. So I think I might have to check that out. I haven't been on a cruise for years and years and years, but I really love going on cruises. My wife is a germaphobe, so she hates being on a ship with a bunch of thousands of people. But I mean, man, it's like the Villages, a cruise ship on land, but you're on the sea. Overall, would Latitude be cheaper to live than the Villages? Yeah, I think they don't have a bond. You know, the Villages are up to like $42,000 for a bond, which is crazy. It just makes your taxes go outrageous. I think they're around $299 a month for HOA, but that's the common area, that's the downtown area, that's all the recreation. I really like what they have at Latitude Margaritaville. So, Chili Dog, if you come down here, let's go to Latitude Margaritaville. Or Goofy Girl, let's go to Latitude Margaritaville and check it out. I haven't been there in a while. So I need a good reason to go. I guess that's what I'm saying. So Kate, is it true that you need flood insurance if you live next to a preserve? So what I would say is, down there in Bradford and some of the newer areas, Chitty Chatty, Bradford, and some of those new areas along that Morris Boulevard corridor, they built a lot of homes. Well, let's check it out, actually. Can I check that out? No? Well, yeah, I guess I can. Let's look and see what we can see. So, oh yeah, see, here's my flood map, right? So I can go to the Villages, and yeah, that's right, we can go, let me check it out here. All right, so I default to the Villages, as you can see right here. There's 231 matches. That's 200. That's about. That's still 50% less than normal of what we have in inventory in the Villages. But we're going to. Here's a 2021 on Mincy Loop. Okay, so this is a good one. Beautiful home. Oh, $980,000 for a 2,600 square foot home. Wow. So this is what we do. Well, so let's do the flood map. And let's see if this home is in a flood zone. So all these AEs, these are flood zone areas. So Mincy Loop, some of this AE creeps onto these homes. If we kind of zoom in a little bit. Pagan Way, I don't know if I'd want to live on Pagan Way, but. So I think the home is off of this. So you would only need flood insurance if your home was, and let's go to the satellite. I like satellite better. Huh? Because that's going to show you, well, maybe not here. Let's see if they've updated these maps. Oh, that is a satellite. Okay. So let's go back. All right, so let's get us a little perspective of what's going on here. So Warm Springs, Florida Turnpike. So here so let me just kind of just point this out for a second. You probably can tell the difference in color of here and a little bit up in here. It's a little more reddish. So you can tell that they've brought in a lot of fill to be able to build in these areas than the white. See how white this area is, and these kind of are a little more orangier. That just shows all the fill that they've had to bring in to kind of fill in these areas here. This is the Finney, DeSoto, Linden, Marsh Bend area. And this is kind of where they're building on both sides. So, anyways. So to answer your question, only if you're in a flood zone would you need flood insurance. But let me just do a little disclaimer on that for you too. So we just had that hurricane come in here, right? You need wind damage and you need flood if you want to protect yourself from a hurricane. So what would happen? Let's say you have flood damage, flood insurance in your policy. But what happened was a tree limb come flying through your window from a hurricane, busts the window, and then water comes in and floods your house out. They are not going to pay for that house because they're saying it was done from wind damage, and the wind damage caused the flooding in the house. They're not going to pay for your house if it gets flooded due to wind damage. So if you didn't have wind damage coverage, you're out of luck. So I would talk to your insurance agent and say, hey, on my homeowner's insurance, I'm not in a flood zone, but I would like flood coverage because if a pipe burst in my house and it flooded, it'll cover that. But if a tree comes flying through my window, will it cover that? And he might tell you, probably will tell you no. He'll probably tell you you have to have wind damage coverage, and from my understanding, wind damage coverage is kind of expensive. So get with your homeowner's insurance agent. These are questions you want to ask. Make sure you ask those questions. What covers flood damage if my home gets flooded? Would it cover if a tree limb came through, a palm tree limb, say, came through my window, broke my window, and then water kept coming in from a hurricane? See what they have to say about that. I'm pretty sure they're going to tell you you need wind damage if you want to protect yourself from that. So Kate, there you go. There's your answer. And then Chili Dog, latitude cheaper to live in the villages. You know, I will be honest with you guys. I think the village is probably the most expensive place to live. You know, so a lot of you that have really good pensions, have good 401ks, have saved up a lot of money, that's not going to bother you. And so those are the people that typically move to the villages. If you are living on a little more of a limited budget and income, maybe On Top of the World is better for you because they don't have a bond and a little bit lower cost of living there. So that's what you have me for, and that's why I spend about an hour to an hour and a half with just about anybody I meet with. Been telling Christian, we need to find some folks when they come in who would be willing to let us video them from afar. You know, I know a lot of people don't like being on camera, don't like, you know, their voices over video or whatever. But if we can just do a little bit of a cameo in our conference room, I'd like to show y'all kind of what we do. And we go through, my 22 years of experience, I like to kind of just ask questions and, feel you out a little bit and try to figure out where it is the best place for you to live. And that's going to depend on your lifestyle and what you want to get out of, not only out of the community, but its location, where it's located. So we spend a good amount of time before we go out and just start looking at homes, because you'll get with a real estate agent and you'll say, okay, well, I want a house between 300,000 and 400,000, and I want to be either in or close to the villages, or whatever. They'll just put you in the car and start showing you homes and trying to sell you a home. I'm not that way. I'd rather spend time up front figuring out where the best place is for you to go, and then go out and look in the best place for you. Okay? So there you go. Iron Maiden. Yeah. All right, Kate, so just to kind of answer you one more time, you don't need flood insurance if you live next to a preserve. It's only if that preserve, like we just saw, encroaches on your home site to the point where the home is located within that AE designation. An X designation, which is, let me just show you one more time. AE, this is all preserved. This is all trees and stuff, right? As we kind of come down. Why isn't this showing a little bit better? No, it's really, if I get closer, I'm hoping maybe. Anyways, you can see the trees through the AE stuff. Oh, well, I know why, because we're actually in the flood zone map. And so that's what it's going to cover. If I get out of that, go down here, parcel map. Not so much. The listing. And then this map, which is just a regular map without the flood zone over it. But X is what you want. X is good, even though X kind of sounds bad, but X is good. That's what you want. AE or A is what you don't want. Okay, so there's your preserve area, and if you live next to it, like I showed you on Mincy, this one's down here. This isn't even close, but yeah, you don't need it. Or let me just rephrase that. It's not a matter of need, it's a matter of want. Okay, so you probably want it. So anyways, this is just a disclaimer, get with your homeowners association insurance provider. They're the ones that can tell you a little bit better than I can about whether you should get it. But you don't need it if you're not in an AE or A area. If you're in the X area, you don't need it. Now, whether you should get it or whether you want it, I would check the price and I would cover myself. So I would probably get it, and just to play it safe. Okay? Lots of runners out there in Daytona, and they would be for yes. So we've talked about that. So Kate, hopefully I beat that one to death for you. And Wrestler Mania has arrived. So here it is, 7:15. See what I'm saying, Jerry? Around 7 o'clock, we still get people joining us, so that's all good. We'll go as long as people are willing. So Kevin's out of here. I'm probably a little bit too late to say goodnight to Kevin, but Kevin, thanks for joining us. He didn't have any pictures for us tonight of baby Geo. He's not so much of a baby anymore. He's getting to be a big boy. 3 a.m. comes early. So thank you, Jax. Thank you very much for the compliment. I appreciate that. I do. I wish I was a rock star, a real rock star. Oh, Kevin says 4. Oh, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, you know. And Wrestler, thank you for joining. It's always my pleasure to spend an evening with you guys, for sure. You know, earlier in the show, we kind of threw it out there. Who wants, you know, I was kind of debating on whether to drop it back to 1 time a month, like the Skip Smith Live, or keep doing twice a month. I think the consensus was twice a month. And at 6 o'clock, because 5 o'clock everybody said was too early. 6 o'clock I thought might be encroaching on dinner time. Some people said 7, and so there you go. I think if we start at 6, we'd go off into 7 o'clock anyways.
Did you see Jax's question about your arm?
My arm.
Yeah, your
wrong arm.
Yeah.
That's it. Still same as always. That's what I do. My father-in-law, every time I see him, how's the arm, Miller? I'm like, it's great. See? Like, he goes, no, the other one. Oh, that one. Yeah, no. Not yet, not yet. I'm still waiting. We're at 11 weeks this week. Next week it'll be 12 weeks. That's 2.5 months. They keep telling me 3 to 4 months. So I'm hanging on to 3 to 4 months. We'll see what happens. I've had my massage therapist, I've had my physical therapist tell me if the surgeon cuts the nerve rather than damaging it, but cut it in half, cut it completely, it might be up to a year if at all. So this is a wait and see thing with the arm. Anyways, I'm back at the gym doing some light, very light, just going through the motions right now, just to try to keep it going. All right, so yeah, Jerry just woke up from my nap at work. So you didn't miss a lot, Jax. We spent a lot of time on Top of the World. We talked about On Top of the World. As you know, we will post this to our YouTube channel tomorrow?
Right after.
Oh, Christian says it immediately goes right after we're done. As soon as we hit end stream, I think he has it set up to where it automatically gets posted so you could always see what we were talking about. So Mr. Sylvan, no. On Top of the World, you could pick out a lot. You can pick out your lot, whatever's available, or they're building a lot of inventory homes, spec homes, move-in ready homes, or I can't think of what Stone Creek calls them. But since things have slowed down, they're able to play catch up, and so I think that's kind of. I was at. Thank you, Chili Dog. Good night. Thank you very much. Before you leave, I appreciate you joining. I was over on Top of the World today, and they were kind of catching me up with what's going on. I think they're down to 8 months now, build time. So it just depends on when they get started on building your home. But you can go ahead and pick out some of their inventory move-in ready homes, even at slab stage. They have them in different phases that you can go ahead and buy them. So that's how they're able to deal with that, right? So it's a different ball game right now. Thank you, Jax. But it's a different ball game now. Talking with Kristen over there at On Top of the World, so she kind of caught me up. I'm trying to think of what she was telling me about. What's it? 3 months. Anyways, but yeah, thankfully they've done away with that. They don't have to do the lottery anymore. They just don't have the sales like they did. Remi says, Ira, why did you give Citrus Hills a downgrade? I know you used to like it. I do like it. I still like it. I don't really, I've always been flip-flopping back and forth all over the place. Sometimes I'll say Latitude Margaritaville, On Top of the World, Citrus Hills. But yeah, no, I still like Citrus Hills, and it's still in an area closer to where I kind of like to be on the West Coast. So yeah, I know I was trying to remember what I was saying about it. I guess in some of my earlier videos, but anyways. Pole dancing. Were we talking about pole dancing with Wrestler on Skip's show?
No.
He'll probably catch me up. Yeah, I just showed up. Yeah. No, I mean, you didn't miss you didn't miss a whole lot. I was just talking about an incident today, Sylvan, where I was out with some folks who I met last week who were staying in the villages. They said that, they weren't real impressed. They felt like it was too big. So I said, well, you need to check out On Top of the World. They wanted to go over there and stay for the 2-night, 3-day stay, world tour they call it, but they didn't have anything available to January, so they just went over there for the day. I met them over there. We all went out, toured the models, looked at home sites, looked at all the recreation, looked at community over, and I think they really liked it. And while I was there, at the end of the tour, I was back at the sales office and I was talking about how I ran into some people who had just, who had just got there, and they say that they just walked inside and they were wanting to go look at the On Top of the World based on what I was saying about it from my videos. And they asked them the question, how'd you hear about On Top of the World? And they said, Ira Miller, through his videos. And they go, oh, are you working with Ira? And they said, no, never met the guy. So they go, oh, okay. So, so in all those notes, they probably put in there, they came in there on their own. And if you say you never met Ira Miller or you're not working with me or whatever. Now, what they should have said was, well, I learned about, On Top of the World from Ira Miller's videos, and they go, well, are you working with Ira Miller? What they probably should have said, when the time comes and we're ready to buy, yes, we will work with Ira. Again, like I said in the very beginning, only if you want to work with me. I mean, I'm not begging or forcing anybody to work with me, but if you want my assistance, That's what you're going to have to say. If you say, I've never met them, no, we're not working with them and we've never met them, then they're going to put that, never met Ira Miller, they came in here on their own, and then when it comes time and they want to build a new home, or they purchase the move-in ready home that's in its infancy, then they're going to probably want me to go out there and check it out for them and do videos for them, and they're going to say, no. You came in here on your own. Yeah, you mentioned something about but you said you weren't working with Ira, so that's a whole mess in itself. So that's why I thought I would just bring that topic up, since I experienced it yet again today, that some people came in and said they weren't working with me. So that's a mess. Top of the world, Del Webb. So Del Webb is Stone Creek, which is just at the top of On Top of the World. I have a torn rotator, so me and Ira are brothers in arms. Oh my gosh. So I don't know if you knew, I went through all that, Ram. I was lifting weights, I was on the bench press, this shoulder popped out when I was benching a bunch of weight, and then this arm had to support all the weight that this arm gave out on, which tore my rotator cuff muscles in that arm. This totally popped out of the joint, messed up the rotator cuff, bicep tears. I had to have both biceps reattached. I had to have my rotator cuff muscles. Yeah, what a mess. And I did it 3 months in 3 months. So went and did the first one, and then 3 months later I did the second one, because I wanted to fall underneath the same year from my insurance, or else I'd have been out of pocket a whole bunch of money. So yeah, so I feel for you. They had a pain ball actually pumping numbing medication into my shoulder. That was crazy. So brothers in arms, that was a good one. All right, sheetrocking and taping a ceiling got me. Sheetrocking. Look, I'm not even going to do any sheetrocking for sure. All right, so I have answered everybody. Just to remind everybody, 2 weeks is going to be Halloween, and we're really seriously contemplating on doing it on Tuesday rather than Monday, because the following week I'm going to be in North Carolina. So y'all can come on up to Highlands, North Carolina with me, and we'll have a good time. First, I'm going to stop at Dillard, Georgia. So if none of you have ever heard of Dillard, Georgia, it might be somebody on our channel. If you've never heard of Dillard, Georgia, very cool place. My brother drags me up there every year to go motorcycle riding. So I go to Columbia, South Carolina. So I'm really hoping all this gets fixed before next year, so I can hop on the motorcycle again, go on up into the Georgia mountains, and then we kind of take a loop around the tail of the dragon and all that good stuff. If any of you are motorcycle riders, you'll know what I'm talking about. So yeah, so the first week of, did you get it?
It was spam.
Oh, okay. First week of November, I'm out of here. So if I don't do it on Tuesday, which is November 1st, then the next Monday is November 7th, I won't be here. And then it'll have to be the following week, the 14th, which kind of puts us out a whole month. So we'll let you know. We'll let you know if we're going to decide to do it on Tuesday rather than Halloween, because I don't, we have a lot of kids in our neighborhood, and I'm in a gated community, but there's still a lot of kids out there. I live in a family neighborhood, and we'll see. We'll let you know, okay? So I want to thank you all for joining. Love you guys. I really appreciate you jumping on. I always enjoy these Monday Night Live chats and get-togethers, and so I look forward to seeing you in our next videos. If you didn't catch everything, then this will be posted immediately. You'll be able to catch up with whatever you missed. All right? Good night, guys. Thanks again so much for watching. See you in our next live chat, and hopefully before then. Come on down. It's getting cold up north. We'd love to see you. And